always take and clamp my handles down when I go to sharpen, so I can kind of lean against it and sharpen, and it doesn't rock. Plus, it doesn't like set the bar at a weird angle. It's like the way it's supposed to be. What's up, guys? How is everybody doing? Actually, think I may have almost been on time, which is amazing. There's 4 thumbs up and 2 people. That was awesome. How's everybody been? Sorry if I'm a little late. I was talking to my daughter. She called. I was talking to her. It's just like a half an hour of like her just telling me all the new stuff she's doing daily. The kid is on one. She's gonna be. She's a sweetheart candidate. Supposed to be a prom candidate. I don't know. She blows my mind. What's up, Ground Pounder? Doing pretty good. What's up, Billy? Rob Bob, what's up? Okay. Is Kellen here? I didn't see. I just started the comments from here. What's up, Rob Bob? Did you see your brother? Yes, I did. How did you know that I see my brother? Who is Rob Bob? Really? That you know that? I gotta get this stuff sharpened. And I went up a size on the file this time, so I'll like use a little one after I lose the hook. I'll go down a size and do it with it, and then move back up a size after I get the hook back. What's up, John? Wait in time. No, you're good. Rob Bob is the mythical dude of the trees. That's funny. I don't know if you know, that's crazy that you say that, Rob Bob, because my brother has never. I think today was the first time he ever came to my house. So. That's so wild. That's a hell of a compliment. Are we still going to do that? Sign up with Gap? Yes, we are. Yeah. It'll be. He told me I can do it whenever I want. So I'm thinking, if you guys, what do you guys say? We want to do it next live feed? We could do it on the next live feed because I want all the people that watch my live feeds to benefit, instead of some that just maybe aren't that invested and like support the channel as much. You guys support it fully, so you guys should definitely benefit from it. So it'll be a certain length of time that you have to sign up, and you get 20% off for a year, I believe. So I think that's what he said. Hopefully I'm not getting that wrong. I don't think I am, but yeah. But okay, let's do this. I want to know. I know a few of you watched it. I want to know. We're doing the game again, like we did last week. And for those who, well, none of you actually know this. This video clip is actually the video clip that inspired me to do this game. So, what do you think? You watched the video clip. Was that an accident that that barber chair peeled out there? Or did he do it on purpose so that he could demonstrate what could happen with a barber chair? I'm very curious as to everyone's opinion on it because the reason I say this is because I knew this was going to happen. I got both sides. Some of you said 100%, it's BS. Some of were like, no, he's being legit. He's telling the truth. He meant to do that. He moved his lanyard, and he meant to do it. And you know what? I've my opinion changed the first time I watched it. I've watched that clip, and actually the majority of that video, at least 6 times, because my opinion somewhat changed from the first time I watched it to the second time I watched it. So that's the thing. It depends on what mood you're in, how you're feeling when you're watching it, and just how you take it. But I'm going to give you my honest opinion of what I truly think and where I feel like there was a learnable like point to be made there that really wasn't made. But, a lot of things were pointed out, but there was something that I think caused it and could have been discussed, but that is what it is. So let me see. I just want to check. It was an accident, and he played it off. That's my opinion. That's my opinion too. Exactly my opinion. I'm here regardless of the discount, bro. Right on. Good with that. Whatever. Everyone else. Why did he cut the cambio? You just pointed out what I think is the thing that should have been discussed there has to do with that cambium. Okay? Why did he cut the cambium if he was going to be on purpose? Exactly. But you want to know? I figured it kind of looked on purpose, but I don't think so. That's what I thought because I watched it the first time. I thought, well, I think he kind of did that on purpose. Um, I re-looked at it. There's no reason why he would have his lanyard way down there when you have a stem right here. So him switching his lanyard over, I'm gonna stop on comments and I'm gonna come right back and I'll read them. But I'm gonna tell you discuss this for a second. Okay, the stem went out and it went kind of up and out. So he had this section here he was taking off. He did make an undercut. Not only did he make an undercut, he made a very small notch. Now, if you watch his content, he often, like a lot, makes very small notches. They don't go in very far. I don't know if that's like his area. That's a thing that they do, but they're really very shallow. Like they're far from a deep notch. He sometimes seems to err on the side of like a quarter. It seems like of the way in. So here's what I think happened. Started to work his way down. Put his lanyard over. Thank God that he put his lanyard over there. Because that peel out is how I know a guy got, like, basically broke all of his ribs, his hips, because a peel out grabbed his lanyard and sucked him into the tree and it crushed all of his ribs. About killed him. So a peel out is scary, scary, scary. I know that just seems like cool, good content. That is one of the scariest things that can happen. So he's coming down. His lanyard is around that because he was working that stem. He was going down that stem, or going back in on that stem. He had made it to the main, so he's a very experienced climber. Better work positioning is over here on this stem. So he didn't switch that over. This is just my opinion, because he was going to make a barber chair. Okay? The other reason I think he did it on accident is because on the backside, he not only made an undercut, but he made a notch, a very small notch. So the reason the notch didn't work, and I've had this happen many a times, is when you want a piece to do that's almost horizontal to do side turn. That's something it just doesn't work all that much. It breaks off. Does like a snap cut effect. So he made a very small, and I've watched it so many times, I stopped it, I looked at it. He made a very shallow notch. Very, very, very shallow. Almost like to the point of it probably went in less than I would have undercut. I would have undercut very deep, or put a notch, or just straight cut it and knew that there's a chance it was going to peel, because there was still weight. Okay, on those hickories, they have the the center hardwood, then the cambium layer. If you look at that, the cambium layer is it's fat on those. Very thick cambium layer around. So we made a very shallow notch and it broke where the hardwood and cambium meet, okay? He got to cutting and it peeled out. His notch, the notch he had made, was on the peeled out piece, the barber chaired piece that fell. So if he'd have made his notch to where it went through the cambium layer, it doesn't give that peel out. Like it's he's so incredibly right about those hickory. A lot of ours is like pig nut, is what I think what I always call them. So our pig nut hickories, that is exactly what happens. He is telling the truth. Stay on the cut, get it done. Like I've went to hinge over logs and they'll stop. The hinge will hold it. You know, where most will pull fiber and come out. These will just hold. So he's right about all of it. Like he's super smart. I like watching his stuff. I think he's a very smart guy. Like I just feel like that one kind of got played off, and a good tree guy can do that. He can play something off like it's okay, you know. He even tells stories about when something goes wrong or you get lucky, you pretend like you've done it because that's just you have this confidence like I knew that was going to work. And what would stressing and being like, oh my god, I just got so lucky, that would have ripped my guts out and this, you just don't do that. So you know, playing it off and being good at you know keeping it going and keeping morale up and stuff is a very good trait to have. So I don't fault him at all for just going straight into that mode. Like he laughs a bunch. Like I think the dude he's got to have a great sense of humor. He seems like he's kind of always in a good mood. I think he just was like, I can't believe that just happened. That's silly. He even says at one point, I bet people are going to be like, who is that idiot that was cutting on that? Or who's the yahoo? I'm not calling him an idiot. I'm trying to repeat what he said. Who's the yahoo that was cutting on that hickory and got that big peel out? Like he knew what the reaction was going to be. And I wish he would have leaned into it and like been like, yep, messed up. This is what I could have done. And like, there's the learning experience. Instead, he just went off. He was giving a learning experience on his way up it by talking about it. He was talking about it way before it happened. That's the reason it does come off as something on purpose. He is talking about stay on the cut, sever it. Don't wait. Don't let let it peel. Let the hinge take, stuff like that. And he's right. I mean, he's very right. But if he was to make a big enough notch to where he's through the cambium layer, okay, now you're into hardwood. Hardwood, you can leave that hinge and let it swing if you're in the hardwood, and then you only have the strips of cambium out here that are holding super, super tight. So I feel like with the pig nut that I've done, hinge works. Like I can let it do its thing, but it's one of the hardest that I've ever seen when it comes to pulling a fiber and like pulling a hinge and coming off. So you can imagine somebody intentionally trying to cause a exactly. Hey, I say exactly, John. But I've in scenarios tried to make a tree barber chair, and it wouldn't happen. Like when you want it to happen, it doesn't happen. So I mean, what's up, Dan? How are you, buddy? Unless it was for an instructional purpose on a tree that could cause damage or be unpredictable, I think. Yeah, that was not the case in that video. I worry sick about the sort of thing happening and smacking me silly on the tree. I always make a deep wedge. Yeah, a lot of times I still think wedges and axes still should have a place in tree work. Like I am, like one to say like sitting there and wedging a log over is silly in my opinion. That's just me. I've done it. Just some things are fun to do, but it's too easy to put a rope in something, put some kind of pulling power on it, and direct it over with full command, as opposed to hope Mother Nature doesn't kick up here in a second, blow a gust of wind in, and blow this thing over to the side. So I think, you know, make a good size notch always. That's why I feel like a third is if you're going for the third, stay around the third. You can go a little over if you want, if you feel comfortable with it. But let the hinge do its work. If you have a deep back cut and you're worried about setting back, you should get your back cut mainly put in, put a wedge in. And a wedge should still be used regularly to keep a curve from, a cut from closing. It's That's its intended purpose. And then if you want to set on the stump and help them as it goes over, you can do that too. Sometimes with leaners, setting wedges will gives me that extra peace of mind to help me like get that lift on that side. So there's certain things that I feel like should never leave tree work. They should always be a tool being used in certain situations. And wedge, axe, you need all those. I feel like I use my wedge 10 times more when I'm cutting logs up, like cutting it into wood. When you're trying to cut up a log, to get your finish cut. If you can start to make your cut, and then beat a wedge into the top, and then finish your cut. You don't get your saw pinched, it doesn't peel, you can finish your cut, and it'll sit there, then you just pull your wedge out. So, oh, Kellen, we were talking about that. Okay, on my community page, I do this. I'm going to explain this one more time. On my community page, on Saturday or Sunday usually, I will put up a post and we're going to play this game every single week if I can find a video. I'm going to show a video of something happening. The whoever it is going to give you what they, and we're going to okay, I'm going to show you a video clip and I want to know your opinion. Did that person mean to do this or was that an accident? And they're playing it off, or did they mean for this to happen, or did they get lucky? Like there's going to be different scenarios, but it's something that is kind of rampant on YouTube. It's too easy to do. I know I've had billions of opportunities to make myself look nothing but great, and you can do that, but sometimes it sneaks through, and those are the times we're going to talk about. And so what I'll do is I'll put a clip up. I'll give you timestamps where something happens that we're going to discuss at the beginning of the live feed every time. And depending on the discussion, it may feed the conversation for the entire live feed. So if you don't go check the video out and stuff, maybe sometimes it would even be cool to, like, before this starts, or even if it started, run over and watch that clip real quick, because usually it's only a few minutes, so you can have an opinion and discuss this with us. Just gives us something to talk about. Not everybody's running chainsaws all the time, so it just gives us something to talk about. This time we were talking about Game of Trees. It's an awesome channel. Um, the dude, I like him a lot. I think he's funny, and a hell of a tree guy. So it's just in one of his videos, he had something happen at his barber chair. He said he did it for demonstration purposes, and it was actually the video that inspired me to do this game. I'm like, whoa, I don't feel like that's true. But then I watched it again, and I was like, nah, he may be all right. And I'm like, why did I feel like that's first? So I watched it again, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I watched it close the third time. So I know that there's going to be, I'm trying to find them ones to where there's going to be varying opinions. So. I mean, Widow makes on purpose, but not barber chairs. What's up, Bridge Burner? Would you say, is Greg here? DQ, what's up? Gotta go. I'll watch this video. Okay, right on, Rob Bob. See you, buddy. I learned locust can catapult you and cause you to do splits when standing on two spars. Holy smokes. What's the hardest type of wood you guys ever had to put on the ground? Huh. Trickiest, I mean. Well, I did the, like, I don't know if you, it's been a while, but I did the tree that went through 2 stories of the house. It started on the basement floor, and it was surrounded with a big concrete pad, and it went up through the second story deck, and then went up over the entire house. So that was an interesting one, a fun one, and one that another one of them videos I feel like got no love, but there was no machines brought in. That tree was rigged down piece by piece by moi, and whoever I had, I don't even remember who was there, but yeah, that was gnarly. That was really really gnarly. Because like they built the place around this tree, and then they're like, "Yo, take his tree down, but don't scratch my stuff." Anyway, covered in poison ivy. It's a series of black cherry. They defy physics. Yeah, yeah. They're a weird wood. The hardwood is very, very brittle, but the cambium's very, very stringy. It gets to the point of like being kind of like the pignut hickory. Like the cambium layers, like I had one. This is the weirdest one. We had a black cherry that had a honeybee hive inside of it, and the honeybees had killed off the section. I don't know if it's from their wax or what, and like the wax had penetrated the wood, and like the wood itself was like waxy. It was really weird and foamy. So madrone, yeah, I heard that's harder than a woodpecker's lip. Was just watching your video, Peter. Good stuff, man. My axe and wedge are always with me. I agree. Madrone is a West Coast tree. I believe. No, yeah. You're right. West Coast. I can't remember my right from my left sometimes. You're right. I've got one single time ever touched a willow. I don't know. I've always called it one. I gotta get ready for work, tree folks. Yeah, I've got a gnarly sweet gum to rig down, like on a between a couple houses and like on a fence. So I gotta get this thing sharpened. That last stump that you guys seen on the video that I just finished, if you notice, it's weird cuts, and like there was a long video of me like cussing and being I was beyond aggravated. I was I was very 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 mad because I was only technically supposed to bring it down about this much more, and I hit metal every time, everywhere I tried to even attempt to cut there at the end for that last piece, and they actually gave me all kinds of attitude over this much wood after that. Like I don't know why it literally blew my mind. But yeah, we're very mad at me over that much wood, despite the fact I knocked the teeth clean off of like stopping them, literally stopping the chains. 660, the 362, and the 036. I had no more saws. Like I have a 290 I could use. I have my 200, but you can see the metal. It's plain as day. There's metal rods in this tree, and then not only I have to deal with that, I have to deal with the person like in some weird way, I don't know how this even happens. She has manifested that I am saying she put metal in her tree, and I'm accusing her of putting metal in her. So she's repeatedly saying, there's no metal in that tree. I planted that tree, and I didn't put any metal in that tree. And I'm like, whoa, what? I don't know what we're saying here, though. Like, are we saying that I put metal in the tree and that I wanted to knock all the teeth off my chains and ruin my chains and have to go buy new ones? Or are we saying that maybe it was an accident, something got hung on it, it grew around it, whatever, you know? I'm just saying it is there, like it can't be cut through it at this time. So, yeah, I don't know. A climber here says don't injure anything smaller than your thigh on a willow. It says don't tie anything smaller than your thigh on a willow. Huh. Yeah, I mean, that's where you just start spreading like you would your rigging. When you ever get to those scenarios where you're gonna, you need something to give you a little extra, then redirect your line around like you would a rigging line and strengthen where you're climbing. But as you're doing that, be aware, especially if you're doing a removal, which ones you're cutting. Look up, make sure you're not redirected into it. But a lot of times when you get those trees, like our area is littered with trees that just got butchered and topped, so there's just a bunch of straight poles, and you're having to work them, but they're not trustworthy enough to apply all your weight into. So a lot of times you have to spread it between. So, ground powder, not a bad rule of thumb. Could be thicker. Yeah, I mean, sounds like a good idea. James Russell. Oh, thanks, James. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I really appreciate it. That's awesome. God knows YouTube could care less. They ain't giving me no money anymore. Jerks. James is paying me way better than YouTube is. Thank you, James. They better be so lucky that I'm not doing this for the money. Because I definitely wouldn't do this. After all the stuff I do and all the videos and stuff I make, like I'll make $40 every month, 30 sometimes. It's just crazy. Like I spent 3 times that on SD cards. Whatever. I don't care. Maybe there's something up with mine right now. Like after the new year, things just got weird. I'm fed up with the cold. I am too. Told me. I hate that running multiple chain. I know it's such a bummer. Like I expected to, like to the point where you will find yourself like if you fall off like a tree or something, you're like, whoa. I know normally your brain tells you should cut the big stuff up because it takes the longest, get it over with. That's how mine works. But like a lot of times I have to be like, whoa, nails, go up 8, 10 feet and start cutting. And so like I tried to help the people. I'm like, well, maybe with the stump, I'm like, maybe we could, you could figure out. I mean, maybe I could come back and we could take a bigger chunk, like a big chunk. And she's like, well, why does that make a difference, basically? And was like, what's that matter? And I'm like, because, like, I want you to think about it. If you're hammering in nails, do you hammer them in? You just pretend I'm standing right now. Hammer them in where you're at your shoulders, or do you lean all the way over and touch the ground and start hammering? You don't hammer nothing in down there. So it's more likely that if you're making a cut and you get to that situation, the lower the better. A lot of times, unless you're dealing with a fence post growing through it, like a post, because I've been there too. So we've actually been there to the point where like we've cut the tree and the post is on the inside, and you have to like pull the tree over and just bend the post with it, and it'll plop out finally. But thanks again, James. I appreciate it, brother. What health and safety come to harass me. They told me tie-in point had to be minimum 1 foot wide. He's dreaming. Yeah, what the hell? Like, you imagine the cuts that guy makes? He doesn't. He just crashes shit into everything. 1 foot? Like, he don't get off the stem on most trees. That's crazy. A foot. I wish. I would never be scared of a tie-in. What a doofball. There's nothing like that hero. I do my own thing. Nobody bothers me. That's the shit. I mean, that's. I love it. I wish everybody would just mind their own. Let a person go out and make a living. And just leave them the hell alone. Been haunting me for the past 2 years. Dang. Oh, dude, that's so awesome to hear. Can't even go to dinner for 40. I'm telling you. You can, I spend more than that every time I go to the gas station. And that's if I don't even get gas. Like if I may be full on damn gas and pull up the gas station, I still spend $40. We need to start a cartel. I'm down. Nickelback, best band ever, yeah. That's awesome. What up, Jared? I got a lot to catch up on. Nah, we ain't done much, Rob Bob. We just, I don't even know what we've been talking about. What have we been talking about? I don't remember. We just ramble sometimes. I kind of just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Oh, we're talking about how YouTube is getting all skeet with their money. Tell them to give me more money, damn it. No, I don't really care. This subscriber count's growing though. I think that's pretty cool. That's kind of sweet to see, but it's always interesting when you get these, like, I pay attention to most YouTube channels out there. Like, I'll even if I just watch it one time, like, if somebody started the channel and I see a tree video, I'm probably gonna watch it. I'm probably gonna watch it and give you my time for a little bit, check you out. If I like, I may subscribe. But maybe, sometimes there's so many that I'll just like remember, like, yeah, that dude's pretty good, and then I'll see it later on and be suggested, and I'll click on it. But there's so many channels out there nowadays that, like, oh, and there's something about this too. There's so many channels out there nowadays that it's kind of interesting to when you get a channel that I've seen start, and like they'll come in and be like, oh yeah, and starts telling you like you maybe try this, maybe try this, maybe try this, and like I didn't, yeah, okay, like I feel like some people think that because they just started watching me that like I just started doing this, and I'm like, no, no, like whether you come here or not, I'm gonna be doing this. This is what I do, and I feel like most people look at YouTube like with a kind of a snarl like most tree guys because they're like usually it's just somebody trying to pretend that they're super smart and they invented something that they got showed by somebody else. But isn't that kind of the fun of it? Sometimes it's just the character, the person who's making the video that makes it. Like, there's a billion tree guys, but not all of them are going to be characters. Like, I'm not this character. I feel like when it comes to interesting people, if you think about it, think about Jake from Guilty of Treason. That's an interesting dude. Interesting to the point that not only did he build one massive YouTube channel that I watched start and blow up in front of my eyes, he did it twice. He stopped that one. They took it from him. and he didn't skip a beat. He started a new channel, and people can relate to that dude to the point that they're just backing him no matter what he's doing, and it is awesome. Like, I dig Jake. Jake is cooler than the other side of the pillow, so um, it's neat. Like, his content is probably my favorite that I watch. On the regular, somebody who puts out constant content. Um, that's like out of our group. I think I watch our group stuff, like us. That's the most of the YouTube that I watch. So I'll watch, I watch August. I watch Reg. Um, I watch Tree Climber Harry. Um, he's awesome because I like seeing stuff done from like different areas. I feel like that's one of the coolest things about it. Yeah, like maybe we're doing the same thing, but like I'm definitely not climbing trees in like Australia that are enormous. Like those trees are huge. So what MPG do you get? What MPG do you get? I don't even know what MPG is. Miles per gallon on me in general. I probably get, I don't know. I was gonna say something stupid. I'm glad I didn't even say nothing. It was a joke that was going nowhere. Oh yeah, and with this thing, I was gonna show you something. Remember how I was like flipping it and doing all this stupid? Check it. I don't even look at stuff very good. See, it's got an arrow on it already. Arrow. God dang it. So I mean, it's not that hard now that I'm like, oh, it's got to go that. Okay, so it's not that one. It's got to be this one. I don't know. I just didn't take the time to think about it, I guess. And yeah, that's a bummer because I wasted a lot of time taking this thing and spinning it around, not realizing there's an arrow. Because I looked at the other end and it's got the weird measurement stuff on it. So I just took for granted both ends basically said the same thing. And boy, was I wrong. You gotta love this thing though. It gets a chain like so sharp. I'm getting ready to put a video up. Um, the next one's gonna be this gnarly sweet gum that was like over the top of this house in this weird I guess it wasn't weird. It was like a aluminum porch canopy thing that got blown out in the storm. Well, actually, you guys seen a short from it where I cleaned and trimmed and pruned a big pin oak tree. There was a YouTube short of it, and it's there. And there's a sweet gum next to it that's a big one. And I get to use all the rings that I got from Gap. Um, Hopefully this won't be a crazy, crazy busy week, so I can do the thing with the discount for the next live feed. So, but I get to use the rings, and what I really like about the dual ring is it's on a long. It's like a what size is it? I still got their package thing here. It's on a 15-foot long that 10x or T-Rex or whatever looking that orange and yellow stuff. It's on a 15-foot deadeye sling, and it was so awesome because what I did was I took the end of the sling. The rings are down here. I took the end and I tied it off with a running bowline on the back stem. Then I took the rest of the ring set and put it up through a crotch, half hitched, and put it back up through the crotch. So it was taking the two stems and pulling them together with only one set of rings. So I didn't have to like spread rings out on the two stems to get them to work together. I just used it to like brace it and back it. So blew some big chunks out of that one. They were big. So we definitely get to do some good on on the rings. There'll be some of that coming up. I've been feeding the trolls with the shorts, yeah. Yeah, I bet you get a lot more attention on shorts. It seems like, and a lot of people that aren't subscribers watch them. So, but I'm used to that. I mean, it's funny because I don't have that many subscribers, but the analytics say that 80, like at one point it was 94.9 or something like that percent of people that watch my channel are not subscribers. So it's really, really hard for people to hit the subscribe button. They just, and I get it because like you don't want your feed all jammed up with stuff, especially if it's not something you really, really want to watch. Like you want to get notified every time, you know, it's something that you just kind of like. So then when you're going to watch something, you have 50 things to have to scroll through before you get. Like I get that, um, but it's not like your cable provider. You know, you can go tonight and go get 15 new channels for free by hitting subscribe. Like I don't really get the thing of not subscribing. I kind of think it's a little weird. Unless it's a personal thing, and I get that. Everybody has their own personal opinions and ways to feel about people. But if it's not something personal, I don't get it. You get it for free. You know, and the only way that YouTube will reward the content creator is if you push the thumb button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. So sharing videos a lot, I think, is a big one too. But I get that. A lot of my audience that are like regular watchers, you guys make your own content. You don't want to be sharing somebody else's stuff all the time. You get your own to put up. So I mean, I get that. But yeah, keep feeding them, Ground Pounder. I got a video uploaded not too long ago of me rescuing a cat. It's my first one. That's awesome. Cat rescues are crazy. Is it just me? But I'm tired of always doing a cold start on my sauce. Yeah, it's rough sometimes, but what do you do? What do you do? People just start out and they already have. Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of funny. Like I'm not. I don't hate it. I think it's cool because I feel like I was somewhat that way too. If I look back on my original videos, I bet I would cringe because I bet I was acting like I'm the bee's knees and I knew everything, and that's how you that's how you have to approach things when you're in that position. Like that would be like the quarterback for the football team heading out on the field, being like, "All right, guys, we just need try hard, but like I don't know, my arm don't feel too hot today." So if it doesn't get there, understand like I'm really trying, but it wouldn't work. So any climber, he's got to be that, you know, the fall man. Basically, he's taking all the risk, so he's got to walk around with his head high and almost a bit cocky. And I don't blame any of them for doing it because sometimes it's a mentality thing that you can put yourself into. I don't even judge some guys there are some guys that I cannot watch them because I just like I don't their videos like they make kind of good content, but like the way they do it, the way Like, I'm just not a fan of somebody pretending like everything they're telling you they just made up. Like, they just made this up. And there's no need to start like you guys know what a snap cut and stuff is. There's guys out on YouTube that will rename that. Like, I call this the jangle jangle cut. Like, come on, man. Just cause you don't know the real name, and you're just gonna make one up and pretend like you just invented it, or just silly stuff like that. That kind of stuff gets to me. So come on, it's got a name. It's a technique somebody else came up with a long time ago. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Because a lot of times they'll have followers that maybe that's the only time they've ever watched tree work because they're watching that person because they know them. And those followers will like feed into it. They're like, oh, dude, I never thought about this. You're so smart. And like, I'll read comments. And when I see them like taking in the kudos and being like, yeah, took me years to come up. No, it did not. You stop. You did not come up with that. Took you years before you scrolled onto YouTube and seen a guy doing it and were like, yo, I'm gonna do that. That's cool. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But pretending as if you just invented all this is a little silly in my opinion. And but entertaining. So I still watch those channels. But like I can't subscribe, like I can't back that because like I'll watch some guys that I know are giving the worst information. Like I don't agree with the way they're saying to do things at all. But it's funny and I'm like, ah, okay, yeah, like I it's interesting to watch it be done a different way. It's interesting to see how someone else's mind works. So as much as I dislike a lot of it, I like it too. So for YouTube purposes, for like actual timeline and history of what gets done as far as tree work, like no, I'm not a fan at all. And like giving kudos to those who like come up with stuff. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff, like ripping just people's stuff off. But at the same time, I do like watching it, and I think it's very interesting. And if it wasn't YouTube, you wouldn't get to see none of that stuff. So I kind of like it at the same time. That's why I feel like a series with me doing your typical YouTube climber. Like I could have a good chunk of videos. I think I'm gonna do them as shorts, so I can do them quick. LOL. Well, thanks for checking mine out. I didn't see yours, Zacchaeus. I young and good. Well, I don't know what just happened with my phone. Something happened there, but I feel like sometimes I don't know. Like, I don't think we would, like, totally click, but I feel like, we would click, I think, as people, just as two tree guys. I think we would be cool. But, like, work sites, I would have a different way of doing some things. Um, I'm not the type to, like, dog on something unless, like, I don't like it. A lot of guys like using blocks. I'm cool with that. I think it's cool. Do your thing. You should use what makes you comfortable. I'm definitely not going to trash on blocks. I don't think you will ever hear me saying they're stupid. Don't use them. Use them. I prefer. I'm just always going to give you my preference, what I prefer, and I'm not going to spend time talking trash on something. I seen on a guy as nice as Bucking, Billy Ray. I just seen a video of his that he put out and on the 500i, and he's talking about it, and it's got the bark box on it, and he's just, I hate it. I mean, hate is a crate like. You gotta really dislike something to say you hate it, and just he repeatedly, it's I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. It's no, I hate it. It's the worst. I hate it. I don't think you realize when you get a following, your opinion then can affect another man's family, income, all that stuff. You got Gordy out here who's trying to do something different on his own, coming out with the bark box. A lot of guys love them. Um, I've never used one. They look cool. I would use one, but I've just never. I haven't. But really cool. Buckin's opinion on that. And I mean, he does say, Gordy, you guys know I love you, this, that. But, like, dang, man, your opinion, you just don't have to say how you hate it. You just really don't. You know? Because what if that stops all his business from coming in because you're just such a big YouTube star? I don't know. That's the stuff I think about. Like, I don't want to make a negative impact on anybody. So if I can, I try to make a positive one. If I can't make a positive one, I just don't want to make an impact on them. I don't. There's no reason. I don't want to. I'm not here to tick anybody off or make anything rough on anybody else. So I watched Zacchaeus. I don't know if I'm being honest. I'm gonna be 100% honest. He's on that line with me. I think I'm either subscribed or maybe I'm not. Like I'll watch it and it comes up enough that I'll watch them that I'm gonna hit subscribe. Which I'll probably go ahead and hit it if I haven't after this, since I'm gonna sit here and kind of bump my gums like an idiot. But yeah, because of our differences there, like his opinion on certain things, like I shouldn't take that kind of stuff personal. I feel like he's trying to dog on rings, and I feel like he doesn't know how to use them. He's not experienced with them. We trying to test them and be like, you're gonna burn yourself and all. Like, I don't know. So I kind of felt like, well, why would you do that? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not gonna come out with a bunch of videos showing you how rigging ring or a pulley is gonna tear your rope up, or how climbing DRT is dumb, and like, because it's not dumb. Like, for some people, that's their thing. That's what they do. So I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. But at the same time, I have to realize with like Zach's creating just like me, and he's like trying to come up with ideas, and it's hard. It's hard unless you want to just regurgitate what everyone else has done. It's hard, and he's trying to be real creative, and I think that's probably one of the reasons I like him. Um, and like I find myself watching at times, but a really good tree guy, in my opinion. I think he's skilled. Um, I think he's seems to have come up quick. Like he's if he's a nonstop learner, like he could be that upper level of tree guy. And like you know, maybe I was just different. It took me a long time to get there, but I feel like some experiences, will get him a little further and just, season him a little bit. But like, as far as a skilled tree guy who knows how to think something out and like get it done, I dig it. I mean, I think he's good. I really do. Oh, I watch tree videos from people here. That's awesome. I love Jacob's videos too. Yeah, Jacob's the man. He's awesome. I'm gonna jump. I'm sorry if anybody left I'm gonna jump up some. If I skipped your comment, I'm really sorry. I think I'm far behind. Let me see. Jeez. Oh my God. You guys type too fast. I'm gonna jump back some, and I'm gonna start here from Bill. Or no, I'll start at Peter's. What's up, Peter? Short hit thousands, right quick, then die. Yep, that's what happens with them. they rarely get stuck in the algorithm and rotate. Like I had one that was like, I don't know, like it's still going, but I don't remember which one it was. I got at like 6.5. People around here are slobs and leave a crazy mess. They leave the logs in the lawn for months. That's stupid. I find myself watching a lot of them. There's videos where, like, here's what I've been watching. This is what's funny. Because I just have to have a break sometimes. But I've been watching those videos where guys will show up and, like, mow someone's place for free and edge all of it and do all their landscaping and do it for free. And they're cool. Like, that's what I like doing. So they just, just to help the people out, and sometimes like transformation is so awesome. And he's like, yeah, I make enough on YouTube, just I make the videos, and that's how I'll come out, on this. And I'm like, wow, that would be the dream. That would definitely be the dream, where you're just making videos and your followers and stuff, just from their support, you're able to make a living. That would be wild. So yeah, I've been watching that, and I've been watching Victory something. He's a guy that lays concrete, and he's got a concrete crew. And I don't know, I just stumbled onto one of his videos, and I kind of got addicted. Another one that I have to subscribe to because I'm like invested now. It happened. Kellen was. I got to see the video where Kellen gets mad at Star. I watched it. I think I watched the ones past it. Like the one probably right before it is where I got behind, so I started there, and I must not seen the one before, so I have to go back and watch. GP, I go 10,000 view because it was labeled crane operator drops the log. I Karened on Ringle Star one time. Talking about my house. Yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to show you the next one with the rings, because you guys, like, I'm being dead serious when I say I have wanted a set of those rings since I like first found out that you could rig with false scratches. Like, as soon as I seen those and those is a real thing, I was sold. So there's what I do. Like, if you notice, this is a computer table, so I use it to follow my sauce, but it pulls out and it gives me a good, area to work off of. And yeah, then I can put the nasty part in if when I'm done. But yeah, I just take and clip it down so that I can file. So all you gotta do is, when you get ready and pack up for work in the morning, you just gotta take your table with you so that you got it on the job site. And your chair, you gotta have your swivel chair so that you can, file if you ever need to. Because if you learn how to do it here, everywhere else will suck, because this is so comfortable. So definitely learn how to do it somewhere really comfortable, because when you have to do it at times and it's like a need, it's always going to be the most uncomfortable thing in the world. So, to bring you guys a little closer, because I kind of need to finish filing this so I can call it a night. But so let me catch up on comments. I haven't watched Ringo Stars or Bucking in at least 5 years. Dang, I don't think anybody should dog on somebody else's technique or tools unless they have serious injury, or a lot of people. Yeah, yeah, and I feel like there's always a way that you can always try to help out. Sometimes you can, like, I don't know. As much as I say it's stupid, I've been guilty of probably voicing my opinion where it shouldn't. There are other times where I've said stuff on videos, and I just like afterwards felt like I probably shouldn't have said anything. You know, he did it his way because that's the way he wanted to do it. Why do I feel the need to tell him how I would do it? Like, I've done it. I've been that guy. But I've also been the other guy who has to like have everybody tell you how you did it wrong and how they would have done it a billion times because I make YouTube videos. So then I'll get people where they're like, "Do you mind if I come out and watch?" I'm like, "No, I don't care. I'm gonna put it on the internet and people are gonna judge me whether I want them to or not." So coming up with content is hard, and it's damn near impossible to get it all. Yep, yeah, it's very hard. That's why I think guys like Zach, I think he does a very good job. Um, I think his content, for the most part, comes off like really original, and that's a hard thing to do. He's found his like niche or like lane. I think he may be one of the best I've ever seen with using that GRCS. He's got that thing dialed in, and like I feel like he's been able to almost build his channel around that device. So that's cool. He shows that it can be done with a very simple crew and a good climber with the right tools. So in my last YouTube short that I put out, I think that was kind of like just a thank you to Gap for the tools. So I kind of just made a little advertisement for them, and plus I figured it would stir up a little bit of people. And we will be doing. I'm gonna try my best, guys. Next week we're gonna be doing the year-long discount. So be ready to do that. Um, I'm not sure if it costs. I don't think it costs you anything to probably start an account. I hope not. We'll have to see. Hopefully. I don't really know. I don't know how that works. I don't like ordering stuff off the internet, if I'm being honest. I've already had my bank account hacked already, so I'm always scared of it. So, have here, sir. I'm late. What's up, Turbo? Turbo comes in hot. Right on. I have 2 GoPros that each have 2 hours of footage, and the drone. I can usually film the whole job. That's awesome. Everybody. I just use my phone. Big old YouTuber star. Yeah. Well, dude, ground pounder, go buy a GoPro. You don't have to buy the newest one. If I'm making a suggestion, I would say go buy the GoPro 8, and I will talk you through everything on how to do it and make videos. Just because you're my guy. Because I think you can make some really good content, and like I'm sure there are people out there that there's just not a guy that like does a good chunk of like bucket work too, and showing bucket work, rigging bucket work, climbing rigging work. So, dude, if you get one, I will help you on how to make YouTube videos with it. You can continue to make YouTube videos with your phone, but you also put that on, record with it, and that footage will be better. I promise. I review my work after a while. I edit the video. I find it's a good way to improve. 100%. 100%. That's why I feel like if somebody puts out a video and they're trying to change a narrative and bend it, like it's hard for me to believe that they like watched it and like didn't realize like, hey, you should maybe point out the flaw here, or they manipulated it enough. I start looking at the cuts, like when the clips are cut, to see like what got cut out. And a lot of times there's wild clips and stuff, especially on these ones where the videos like we'll talk about each week. But usually there's a bunch of weird clips, and it's edited to make it look like it didn't happen, because YouTube's brutal. Let's be honest. Why would somebody fib and pretend like they didn't make a mistake? Because YouTube is brutal. I've had people wish for my death because I made a YouTube video. I mean, come on. It's crazy. You know, people send death threats. I've had a billion different people talk about, oh, I'm going to do this to you or this to your family, and it's like crazy stuff. And I still say that the people that say that wouldn't dare. The ones that got the gall to say something like that, like, wouldn't dare do the stuff that they're saying. But, like, you shouldn't say that stuff anyway. I'm just a random dude, a normal guy. If you have a difference of opinion than me, that's cool. Like, that's cool, but you shouldn't wish for my death because I cut down a tree and you're weird one day and you're having a bad day, so you popped in onto my YouTube channel and was like, yo, watch this video. Oh, he's killing trees. He should die. Whoa, what the heck? I guess you would rather that tree fall over and kill that person instead of me take down the tree. Nowadays, you can zoom. Yep. Phone takes good videos. My phone does not. My first year I would set up my phone on a tripod and time-lapse most. Yep. Yeah, that's another thing that's cool if you don't have that GP. I started with my phone also, and I used a time lapse. I just went and got a time lapse. And nowadays it's probably built into your camera, but I had to go get an app that let me time lapse. So I just downloaded an app and would use it, make time lapse videos of the whole job. That was pretty cool. Did I show you? My tripod is my Coyote hunting gun tripod. That's awesome. I'll show you my original setup one day. It's laughable, but it did the job for a while. Same, I used to set my AR on Merca. That's awesome. He got some nice looking pistols. Yes, he does. He's got a hell of a collection, doesn't he? That's awesome, Jeff. That is awesome. Whatever gets it done, sometimes you gotta get that clip. I'm just learning rings now. Yeah, links, they just take a little more forethought, in my opinion. They take, a little bit of more, forethought to where you think ahead. That way you're putting them in the right location and running the rope right, because they aren't midline attachable. That is the only, issue with them, and that's not an issue, in my opinion. So, in the next video, I break one of my own rules on, like, I don't know if I actually broke the rule, because I feel like this new rings, they're called Alaska rings, and they're made here in the U.S. They seem wider than the X ring, so what I did is I headed up the tree, and as I'm headed up, at the main union, there's one main union, and it's a maybe 100-foot soft maple. It was bigger and taller than the pin oak, but it was all over the house. But I got up to the main stem. I stood in the main stem, and I put the ultra sling ring on there, which is the single ring. And then what we did was we rigged everything from there down first to clear everything over the house and the landing zone. And I just rigged off that single ring because there was no need. We weren't dropping anything into the system. It would like mess with the bend radius real hard or dropping any major weight. We were mainly swinging things. So did kind of break one of my rules and only rigged off a single ring. But in some situations, I don't see an issue with that. That's not. I feel like the weight limit and what you're doing, like the way you're rigging, is gonna have a lot to. Like, if I was negative rigging, wouldn't do it. I would run more than just a single ring. Or if I was rigging excessive weight, big weight that was going to drop into the system, I would use more than the single ring. You know, so situation, we were swinging, so we were having to roll and swing it out and around and out the back of the tree. So it was fun. How's that new climbing device? Yeah, how you liking the uni? We hope it works too. I don't know. I'm not used it yet. Just harmful. That's awesome. Climb. Likes to climb. That's good. Let him climb, man. A guy that likes what he's doing is a good guy to have there because he's going to have a lot of pride in what he's doing. And plus, I don't care who you are, it's scary work. You know, maybe you ain't going to admit that it's scary work, but not everybody goes to damn work every day and takes a chance that they could die. But like the last video says, this is a very risky job. And the reward, well, actually, this is a job with non-stop risk. And the reward is that you get to do it again the next day if you survive. It's rough, you know, it doesn't sound good, but that's the truth. Some guys grow a love for it, and I understand them guys. And they say, you know, I don't think I can do anything else. I really relate to those guys. I'd be in trouble. You know? I'm sure I could figure out something else if I had to. Life depended on it. But man, when you feel like, when you're doing something you feel like, well, I'm good at this. Like, not only do I like it, I'm good at it. There's that cocky mentality of every tree guy comes in. You know, you have to almost think that way. Because if you're not, you want to hire a guy that's like, yeah, like I've climbed big trees, bro. You know, and I roped. Yeah, I rope. I rope all the time. Yeah, I rig all the time. Okay. You get him, and you get him to the job. He's like, oh, yeah. I mean, I thought we were talking about rope. I have a rope. Like I tie in with a rope. We got a rig stuff over the house. You wouldn't hire that guy. He'd be like, no, man, no. Like, no, I'm a fast learner. Like, I've never done it before, but I think I could do it. You don't know. No. That's not the guy you want. But that's really cool, GP, that you can let him do his thing and climb when you really want to. You could, you know, at any time. That's awesome. That's a pretty good gig, man. They can keep the bark box, but all it does is make the saw louder. I'm not a true climber, I guess. I mean, I do, but not like my. No, you're a true climber. If you don't climb every one, doesn't mean anything. I can slice some trees from the bucket, but I didn't figure anyone wants to see bucket work. No, dude, I'm telling you, people do, especially just any rigging. The rigging you were doing and the stuff you do, a good clean rigging setup, there needs to be more guys out there showing that. There's enough guys showing the silly stuff and just being crazy. But passing out, passing information, people may watch your videos that will never see mine. So, yeah, hell yeah. I would definitely watch it. Nothing wrong with bucket work. No, bucket work's cool. You can do things that you can't do climbing. So I mean, just think about it. The rigging that you could do out of a bucket. I've always been notorious for rigging to way too big if I use a bucket. Like, cause I'm like, I'm not tied into it. Who cares? What's worst case scenario? I'm gonna blow up a sling or a ring or. As long as I'm not gonna smash nothing. Keep the rigging guy back, and let's see what this rope and stuff can take. So have to Matthew. What's up, Matthew? He's got 20 Bradfords. Good luck, dude. Hopefully they haven't been cross pollinated because most of our Bradford pears now have thorns on them because they cross pollinated with our honey locust, and now our Bradford pears now have a thorn. GP, would you like to see some of my guns, or would you? There's like four today, all huge and terrible. Be careful out there, but rings are easy to splice. I'm excited to put a kit together. Hell yeah, baby. You need any help or advice, let me know. Um, Gap, their ring setups are awesome, and I'm really loving these Alaska rings. So I feel like they are much wider. The coating seems really good. I'm loving them so far. So they do some amazing rope work at Gap. Their splicing is awesome. Um, the only issue I think I ran into is that one spot on that climb line that it got plucked. Like there's one spot, and it's like kind of close to the eye, which sucks because I hate looking at it. But I mean it's okay. But yeah, it was like that when I pulled it out of the bag. I don't know if it snagged something at some point or what happened, but out here just bit the jaws. Yeah, 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 and they go around bragging about how amazing of tree guys that they are, even though all they did was bid the job. That's my man, bro, my right hand man. I'm responsible to email them. Listen again. I quit ordering off the internet. Been hacked twice. Damn it, am I way? Okay, no, I'm not way behind. I thought I was way behind on comments. I was about to freak. Okay, GP, I'll do that. We there for one another. I climbed to 400 foot with him, and he did it for me. That's why we both did. That's awesome, dude. I'm hesitant. Just show stuff. I changed my about info so I covered myself per se. Yeah, I mean anybody that's using YouTube as a trainer, they're silly. It's just a spot to get spark ideas. You know, you should test these things low and slow always. There's absolutely no reason to the first time you've ever negative rigged something for it to be over someone's house. So um, test it low and slow. And I hate the fact that we have to, you know, put at the end of videos, beginning of it, like this is for entertainment purpose. Of course, like anybody who's trying to be like, he tried to teach me. I ain't trying to teach you nothing. I don't want you doing anything I do. If you want, like, you want the truth, I don't want you to do nothing I do. I know there are people out there that do what I do, and maybe they find entertainment out of this. Maybe other people do, and maybe those guys look at it and they're like, "Hey, I'd like to try that." All I'm doing is giving context for the viewer so that they further understand what is happening in the video. It's not teaching. I don't want to teach. I had opportunities to teach. I said no instantly. I just don't want to. I like to share. I'm not a teacher. Never have been. Don't want to be. I won't even lie. I get one single jackhole comment from anyone. I block them first thing, but it's not often. Yeah. It takes a couple. Usually with mine, it's like I had some dude tell me that like I need to. Well, first he told me what I did wrong, and then he told me that I need to man up and stop blaming it on somebody else. And I need to learn how to talk to people nicer. And I'm like, oh my, you go, girl. Tell me everything that I did wrong because you watched a 10-minute edited video. At what point was I being mean? Wasn't mean at all. I don't know what he was talking about, but some people are watching videos and they just had their heart broken, or they just had a bad day at work, or they're just assholes in general. So those are the people that think that you need to you really need to hear their opinion, and that you, because you know, your life isn't that great, isn't near as great as theirs, because like of course it's not. They're they're watching you, but their life is way better than yours. They can do what you do, but they're watching you instead of making the stuff and making the videos. But they can do what you do, and they just need you to know like you suck and they're awesome. And the worst is the ones that get upset when you comment back. I'm good with a good bicker. Let's argue. Like I'm down sometimes, often actually. Like I kind of enjoy it, but I know I've ran many a subscriber off because they commented something, whether it's just kind of rude or ridiculously, purposely rude. If your comment could come off as rude to me, and I come off and bark back at you, don't get your feelings hurt. Maybe you should have read your comment, thought about, did that come off rude? Because if you're rude, then the person that gets rude with you had all rights to get rude with you. You don't get to be rude to people with no repercussions. That's not the way the world works. I've since bought a 5/8 pulley. Right on. You should have one of those to give me. He told me I needed a new chainsaw because it took me 40 seconds to cut through a piece. Hey, a sharp chain's where it's at, you know. And almost any saw will work. You just need a good chain. But yeah, still make something that's pretty good too. I was gonna say something there just for a second. I negative rigged on a single ring and tore the. Okay, yeah, Peter, you're the one for the jacket off a 5/8 rope. You were right, Mike. Yeah, yeah. I just don't like. What it's going to do is it is going to be like a heat-seeking missile to any imperfection in your rope. If you have a little cut in your rope, a little spot in your rope, or a weak point or a defect, when that defect or spot gets to that ring, it is being mashed with every bit of weight doubling, I guess, and it's going to break there. It's going to separate the sleeve. You know, it's insanely hard on them. So yeah, I'm glad that you said that, Peter. I forgot about that. Peter told me about that. I forgot about it though. I don't think it's silly to learn in YouTube. Other than child by, I've learned almost everything on here. Yeah, it's not silly to learn from it, but you should not, and there are those channels out there that are trying to teach you, like, and that's their purpose. Like their purpose is to teach. Like they want to, like educated climber. He's really good climbing arborist. He teaches like he's he's like on the cusp of all of it. Like he's good at it and has the. I just don't want to give bad information. So I always look at it as sharing. I've had guys share things that I've loved and I've used from that day on. So that's just what I feel like we're doing. I don't rest and realize the dangers, but I'm no expert. I'm just doing what I do. I feel the same way, brother. I need to get a double ring set up for sure. Yeah, yeah, you should get one of those T Rex ones, dude, or the with the like the one I got from Gap. I'm sure they have more, but yeah, that's a good setup. Peter, one thing that I was gonna say, and I have not done a video on it, and the only reason I didn't do a video on this is because I have seen a video on it, like, and the video is kind of a little off, and it's really, 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 really old. But I was gonna make a video with rings and pulleys together. Um, but I was just gonna show how to make a retrievable setup, and you can use a ring with a pulley, like to widen the bend radius. I've seen Giorgio Fiore do it, and the thing is, when you go to retrieve, you've now got these two separate pieces of metal that are smashing together, and you can really mess a ring up if metal hits it at the right spot. It'll put a gouge in that metal, and like then it's tearing your ropes all the time. My all gear rings had a spot one time where I threw them out of the tree and it hit a rock, and it curled a little piece of metal up. And luckily, I seen it before we started rigging with it, but it like put a little spot where it would have ripped my ropes. I know it would have. That's awesome. You use the safe block a lot. What the heck that was? Well, guys, I think we've probably ran ourselves out of time here. I think we're probably, yeah, we're an hour and a half. No one wanted to listen to me for that long. I know you didn't. Um, yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it as always. You guys are awesome. Um, you guys are always good conversation. Um, and try blocks. Yeah, ground pounder, you got a good selection of like rig and stuff. You know, the safe block is the bee's knees, dude. You have to watch the. I don't know if you ever seen the video of my of like Jaden, the guy that inspired me to do YouTube. Um, or he just inspired me to make videos, but he uses the safe block and double wraps around the end on one and rigs the top of the big top out of a tree by himself by using it like that. So yeah, you may look that up. Um, it's back somewhere in my stuff on like my community page or something. I think it's on my community page. So you have to check it out. I figured you use the safe block a lot. It's pretty sweet setup that he used, and it made it so he could rig a pretty fat chunk by himself from up there. So, and it worked really good. James taking off. James, next Tuesday later on. See you, buddy. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate the super chat. That was awesome. I'm no expert either. You guys knock it off. Yeah, you are. If okay, the way it works is if you watch enough YouTube, you become certified. And I feel like you guys have seen enough of my videos. You could legally, at least in my town, call yourself professional treatment because you know way more than some of the guys that I watch got stuff. So I would say you're professionals, even experts. If we're comparing knowledge to some of the guys that cut around me, so no, you GP says I'll shut up. No, all right, I'm gonna hop off here, but dude, you should definitely GP check out what he did with the ring. What he did was like, okay, here, I'll explain it. It has the three holes, one, two, three, and you know you go to rig a top, you stand it up a lot of times. Well, what he did is he went in one. Let's lay it back down. So the rope goes in, out, and then it went around and he double wrapped around one of the things all the way around the outside, and it gave him an additional wrap to hold on to, which was like double friction, and then it didn't rub or like it was pretty slick, man. You have to check it out. It's a really good little video, but he's the man anyway. I just sometimes when I feel down and I just need a little pick me up, I'll go watch a clip of his. I'm glad it's still on YouTube. So guys, thanks for hanging out. You guys are the best as always. Dan, Billy, Ground Pounder, um, Bridge Burner, Peter, James, Jeff, you guys, Turbo. Turbo comes sliding in there at the end. He's the man. You guys are awesome. Thanks again. I appreciate you. I will have you another video out very soon. I'm kind of excited to make it, so maybe I'll get it done quick. Uh, Maybe a bit of a change with the videos. Um, they may just be more quick Hollywood style. Um, I feel like I spend a lot of time pointing and highlighting things and um, typing things out, and like I could get videos out way faster if I just didn't do all that stuff. So maybe we're gonna try a few just different, just more visual videos. Maybe you don't have to read. I feel like maybe some people may not even like that, and they may not read it anyway. So may change some stuff up, try to speed up the video making process up. But as always, I'll get on it. I'll work on it. I'll make it better. Make it mo better. And yeah, I'm out of here.